in me. Just give me
Vino.
a second. I need to get a little wine. Wine. Oh, my God.
Oh, my.
I just found out, though, about all the money I'm going to get from the government, though. Like, because of the business.
Yeah, well, that's good.
We're eligible for all kind of. My dad can actually, even though my dad's a business owner, they changed it. And if you're a business owner, you can apply for unemployment. Now, he doesn't really need it, but he could get $600
He might
a
as
week.
well just take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, the government can
I know.
do some things.
Well, I mean, and you figure all the taxes and everything you pay your whole life, like, that money should come back to you anyways. That's the way I look at it.
agree.
So, that's how I fucking feel about it.
I agree.
So, okay, so we got this, and this. Looks like a couple of people are watching in the inner circle. Rock Rage, somebody popped onto that. That might be you.
It might have been, but I'm trying to look for yours right now.
So, there we are. Oh, look at us. I'm petting myself on the head.
You always do that.
When you have this, you do this. This is one of the things.
I wouldn't.
I just got out of the shower, just shaved.
Oh, why can't I find the inner circle?
I know not, Miss Lily. I know not. I would like to tell you, but I cannot tell you right now. It's too bad.
There it is. Why did I have so much trouble finding that? All right.
Sometimes, goof shit. I record. I do a musician's mastermind, and I have a group for that. Just check your mic again.
Check my mic again.
Okay, and and we do it on Saturday mornings, and we got everything set up. And I was like, oh crap, I forgot to turn the Facebook feed on. So I hurried up and went over and then I couldn't find it. I'm like, what the fuck? Here, instead of doing it in the mastermind group, I did it in the inner circle accidentally. No. I did it on my main profile. I think. Like I did it in the wrong place in any case.
Well, you have so many.
Oh, there's the Hawkmeister. Let me bring you over onto the main screen here, brother. There he is. You all right? How's the Crocus?
Yeah.
I heard Crocus got sidelined.
I don't know if they're going to be torn anymore, man. Sometimes shit happens to people that just puts them on the sidelines, and I don't know if they can rebound from this.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing we wouldn't want, man. We wouldn't want to lose Crocus. Hank, man, he would be lost without Crocus.
He would just move on to some other Rib Festival band. I'm sure.
Rib Festival band.
What's Molly Hatchet doing nowadays?
They played Stage A, or not Stage A, Jurgles.
This shit.
Shit.
Yes, shit. No shit.
I always thought of Molly Hatchet as like Leonard Skinner light.
That's how I see them.
Skinner.
See, it's just not me then.
Skinner's
They also played at the Wild Things field too. Like I don't know if that was a year or two ago.
You know the Larry the Cable Guy joke about Molly Hatchet, right?
I don't.
You know the joke? He says like, yeah, my cousin was throwing a graduation party and they wanted to hire a Molly Hatchet tribute band, but that's too expensive, so they hired Molly Hatchet.
That's actually funny because Larry the Cable Guy is someone I look at and be like, how the hell did you get famous, man?
Right.
I could tell. I kind of know something about his story. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I kind of know how he got started. I know a little bit about it. Don't ask why I know this. Useless.
He sold the right person drugs. I don't know.
Yeah. So okay, I think we got everything. Got all that. Everything's up and running. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit the record button. All right. Gomer and Goober at it again. Okay, there's my notes. There's my intro music. There's my record button. Okay, let's get this party started. Here we go. This week on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, it's the battle of the mid-level 80s guitar princes, if you will. George Lynch and Warren DeMartini were both well-respected guitarists in the mid-'80s, with both of their bands, Dokken and Rat, having a lot of album sales and very popular MTV videos. But which one was the crown prince of this particular landscape? Find out on this week's Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Stick around. You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. Check back often at LouLombardiRocks.com because we're always doing some cool stuff. There's a great community there of folks that are passionate about great guitar-driven rock. We hang out every day. We post music. We talk. It's very cool, so you want to check that out at LouLombardiRocks.com. Tons of great podcasts going up all the time, as well as just cool videos and things that we're sharing in the group. Want to give a shout out to my two co-hosts tonight. The power trio is back together.
Hi.
We do finally have Keith the Hawk Hawkins joining us again. What's up, Mr. Hawk?
What's up?
What's up?
Live from the Corona capital of the world, New Orleans, Louisiana.
No, we couldn't get Corona there.
This is the kind you don't want.
Oh,
The kind you don't want to. You can't drink this kind. We could.
could.
And
You
then
probably want
sitting
that.
next to me as our long-suffering co-host Lily V6. What's up, the Sixer?
oh, what's up? What have I done this weekend? Oh, nothing. You're welcome.
Yeah, Lily has serious cabin fever. She's used to going to like 3 and 4 shows a week. How many shows did you go to in the last couple of weeks? Exactly.
0.
Cero for those people who speak Spanish. So anyway,
About as many gigs as I played in the last 3 weeks.
Legit.
You're legit. Before I mention our sponsor, I want to dedicate tonight's show to all the folks out there in the restaurant and alcohol industries. You guys are really hit hard. A very good friend of mine, they just opened a place, the Vault Tap Room. They just opened in July on Carson Street. And now they're closed. And the guys are really cool. There's a young guy, he's like a very forward-thinking entrepreneur, and he's, so we want to dedicate tonight's show to you guys out there. Hang on. Somehow we're all going to get through this, and we're all going to be going out and drinking and playing music in your places and everything really soon. So just sit tight, guys. But this show is for you. Shout out to our friends at Wolf's Customs. That's Chris Thunderwolf Dodson. You can go to wolfscustoms.online. Get a custom paint job on that guitar. Keith, I heard, did you get some custom drums done or something?
He did do a snare drum for me. It's a Hollow Flash. It looked pretty cool. It does
liked
look
it.
cool. I would like to take it out and play a gig with it, but right now my hands are set.
Go live from your house.
I've been playing it. It is set up, and I've been playing. I'm messing with the tuning of it, and it's nice. It looks cool. I just like to take it out and see what it looks like under lights and things like that. So that will be something I look forward to. But he did it. Very generous. Great job. Very generous with it, and I might have him do something else in the future. We'll see.
Yeah, they do great work. You want to go to wolfscustoms.online and hit up Chris Thunderwolf Dodson. They do very cool stuff. They also do like wood burning and stuff like that. It isn't just one type of thing that they do. So check them out. And as we were saying, obviously they do drums too. So if you're a drummer, that might be something you want to check out. wolfscustoms.online. We are going to be getting into the topic of Lynch versus DeMartini. Being Italian, I can tell you already that I'm voting for Warren DeMartini.
Just
It's
right
a law. I don't want the boys to show up and break my legs. So, no, we're going to talk about that. We're going to have a good time tonight. Let's get into the first band while we kind of get our heads around what we're going to be talking about. Lana Black. Lana was just live a little bit ago on Facebook this evening. By the way, those of you that don't know, we go live on Tuesday nights on Rock Rage Radio Live on Facebook, as well as in my community at LouLombardiRocks.com. So if you want to hang out with us, throw questions at us, join the conversation, you can do that there. Most of you, though, will be listening to this in some kind of replay. We're all over the place, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Music, and everything. And I have to thank, I always forget, I apologize, Rock Rage Radio. We're on there as well. So some of you, many of you are going to check us out there. But the live thing is always a lot of fun. So you definitely want to check it out. We got Keith the Hawk Hawkins. We've got Lily V6. We're going to come right back. This is Lana Block, Suck You In on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
You thought you had it all under control, but then you met me. You fell down a deep dark hole, a place where rabbits go, a place where angels and demons play with your mind. A place where angels and demons play with your mind. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll climb on top of you, sink my teeth into your skin. I'll climb on top of you. I'll suck you in, I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. Even the devil was once an angel that fell from the sky. Down in the hole of a fallen angel, a place you'll never die. Even the devil was once an angel that fell from the sky. Down in the hole of a fallen angel, a place you'll never die. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll climb on top of you, sink my teeth into your skin. I'll climb on top of you. I'll suck you in, I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. Maybe you're heaven, maybe you're hell. Which one am I? The riddler wouldn't be able to tell. Look in my eyes, manipulator of your soul. Which one am I? Manipulator of your soul. Which one am I? I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll climb on top of you, sink my teeth into your skin. I'll climb on top of you. I'll suck you in, I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in.
I think she's going to suck you in, Lily.
Well,
I think she sucked Keith in. Look at him. Are you drinking anything, brother?
I saw him sipping on something.
Oh, you got something. Are liquor stores open down there or not?
What's that?
Are the liquor stores open?
There's no liquor stores here. It's grocery stores.
Oh, so you can get booze then?
We can't.
We can't. You can't even get it freaking West Virginia either.
Nope.
Now I can get
that's ridiculous.
We can get wine and
beer.
beer. We can get wine and beer.
No
like
liquor.
that, like White Claw, stuff like that. But you can't get like hard liquor. I drank my last bullet over the weekend. I thought I'll just go to West Virginia. Won't be a problem. I went to West Virginia yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah, as of yesterday, they closed the fucking liquor stores.
Yeah, I'll be moving out of those fucking states, man. Trust me.
All right. So, okay. Sorry. The F words are flying around. We're not supposed to be doing that. Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
So, We're going to talk about do you have I don't know, Keith kind of jumped on tonight. Do you have anything to say about George Lynch or Warren DeMartini or Rat versus Dokken? He's got four
First of all,
things.
let me just give the disclaimer here that I do not listen to this kind of music at all. So I'm giving, if my answers are completely cliche, like with the popular tunes that I've heard in the past, I apologize. I don't really know a lot of the deep cuts, if you will, but I do know they're both kick-ass guitar players. They have very similar styles. I think their tone's very interesting. It's like it's very similar in tone. The way they use certain chromatic things in their playing is very cool. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick one or the other. They do have definitely some memorable riffs. Their solos are very cool, and I think they both were those type of guitar players that knew that they could. I mean, it was a lot more popular in that day. They could shred. They also knew how to play and find craft a tune too. So that was,
good riffs.
Something
I mean, these guys were not at the level of Van Halen, Steve Vai, or Yngwie.
No.
So they weren't like really the god. That's why I call them the princes. I would put Vito Bratta in that category, Mick Mars, a lot of those guys who were those kind of like, not necessarily known as the uber shredders, but could really play and, brought a lot to like a song. So do you want to give a little background on each one, Lily?
I can do that.
That'd be great.
We'll start with George Lynch, American hard rock guitarist and songwriter. Best known for his work with Dokken and Lynch Mob. He is one of the most influential and famous 80s metal guitarists, as you said. He has a unique playing style and sound that you sort of already touched on. Maybe you can elaborate a little later, but his career spanned more than 30 years and recorded more than 20 albums. Started playing guitar when he was 10. Mark Kendall from Great White claims that he started the two-hand tapping before Eddie Van Halen did. However, Lynch will deny that claim. He's less of a shredder, like you said, but does play with some balls behind it. He auditioned twice to be Ozzy Osbourne's lead guitarist. Once in 79, losing to Randy Rhoads, and in 82 to replace Brad Gillis. He was hired for 3 days before Ozzy changed his mind and decided to go with Jakey Lee. There's a whole story behind that too, right?
Right.
Okay. I don't know that story.
Yeah.
Ozzy
actually... they took George on tour for a little while. Okay. George quits his job and everything. He's got a wife. He's got a
family.
And he's like, and like after like 2 months on the road, he's like, he thought he was getting the gig, and then he didn't get it because Sharon didn't like the way his hair looked.
Yeah, I thought it had.
And Jakey Lee had long hair. And I mean, that's how the story goes. That's what George Lynch says that happened. George is like amazing. I'm less interested. I love his solo playing, and I really love what he did with Lynch Mob. I hate to say this, but Dokken in some ways is kind of the least favorite thing that he did, but I digress. Why don't we give a little bit of, is that it on George, or do you want to
I have a couple more things.
Sure.
So just in 1989, due to internal conflicts with Don Dokken, he parted ways with the band, formed Lynch Mob. In 1999, he decided to take the band in a totally new direction, influenced by contemporary bands with a new look, new lineup, a new musical approach to attract a younger audience, which is kind of smart business sense on that. And then they released the Smoke This album. Obviously, his influences are Jimi Hendrix, Randy Rhoads, Jeff Beck, and Michael Schenker. There's a whole list of people that are his influences. Those are just the ones I picked. But most recently, he started a project called Dirty Shirley this year with vocalist from Animal Drive, that Dino Jalusic.
Oh, yeah, Animal Drive. That's a cool band.
Whose vocals are wonderful.
He's a great singer.
And this actually covers a wide variety of styles with classic metal to more traditional Lynch Mob sounds. So it sort of just proves that he's still like working things out, trying to still be relevant. And it actually, the Dirty Shirley album's amazing. So if
I need to hear that. I haven't heard that yet. The cool thing about George and the difference between him and Warren, we're going to talk about Warren in a minute, is George has really remained active in the business.
Yeah.
Whereas Warren, I heard Eddie Trunk talk about Warren. He says Warren and him and like Vito Bratta are like really burnt out. They're just like,
they're over it.
They're like over it. I mean, Keith, you're passionate about music. You switched careers to get into music, moving to New Orleans. But can it just become a job at some point where you kind of get like burnt out on it like any other job?
Yeah, I would take any of them right now, but at the same time, you can get to the point where there's times where I play a gig on a Friday, and it's every Friday. But so you look forward to, like, you have a gig every Friday, at least at the same place. Sometimes you might pick up something later in the evening because it's pretty early, but you find yourself playing the same songs over and over and over again, and it can kind of make you a little bit like, is this what I signed up for? But at the end of the day, it's better than anything else.
I think so too. The way I looked at it, whenever I was playing in silly cover bands and country bands and stuff, was like, I felt like we were helping people party.
Well, yeah, because that's what people want to sing and dance, and they want to sing and dance to stuff they know, and unfortunately, that doesn't help the guys who want to write their own stuff.
Right. So I didn't. So that's the way I always looked at it. I was like, we're here to kind of throw a party. That's the way I looked at it. It wasn't. I'm like, who can't enjoy making a few bucks and throwing a party? Right. You know what I mean? So that's the way I kind of like looked at it. You know what I mean? So give us a little lowdown on Warren DeMartini, Lil.
I should wear my glasses on the show now because I can't read my notes anymore.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not going to do that. Warren DeMartini, American guitarist most known for the glam metal band Rat. He was nicknamed Torch for his fiery playing style. Influenced by his older brother's band to be interested in rock music, and his grandmother was also a pianist for silent movies. I don't know if you knew that. That's kind of cool.
Did not know that.
His mother bought him his first guitar when he was around 7, and he struggled to learn due to the pegs being cheap, causing the instrument to always be out of tune. So, like Pete Townsend, he decided to smash it up because that's what he saw on TV. And his mom said, yeah, you're not getting another guitar, so that's on you now. So several years later, like 7 years later, he bought himself a new guitar, and the first song he learned was Sunshine of Your Love by Cream, and he learned it by ear. So obviously he wasn't that bad at what he did. In 1982, he replaced Jakey Lee, speaking of, this is all going full circle here, in the band Rat. They were once roommates at one point in time and were highly influenced by each other's styles. Yep. His guitar would become his lead guitar style would become one of Rat's most recognizable aspects, and he also co-wrote some of the songs, Round and Round, Lay It Down, Way Cool Jr., and Dance. When Rat broke up, he had a short stint with Dokken.
I know that I was hoping you'd mention that. That's really funny. He ended up in Dokken
all comes
for a little
full
bit.
circle.
Yeah.
Before he became a touring guitarist for Whitesnake in 1994. He was hired to replace Doug Aldrich for the band Dio, but quit due to differences with Dio himself. Doesn't surprise me. Rat reunited in 2007, but by 2018, DeMartini was no longer interested in being with them. VH1 said he is one of the most underrated hair metal guitarists of the 80s. He tends to have a more jazz musician sound and utilizes a similar style to George Lynch. And again, maybe you can elaborate on that, because I cannot.
Here's the thing, and I think it's context for me.
Okay.
I was partial to Rat because I liked their blues swagger kind of thing that they did. They were kind of like
it wasn't as
the
glam.
80s hair metal version of Aerosmith or something.
Okay.
They had that kind of real, and I nothing against George Lynch, and I think Mr. Scary is a great guitar thing, but all I got to say is 3 words: lay it down. That is
song.
one of the most monstrous riffs ever. Most monstrous guitar intros ever. I mean, that's just freaking insane. I mean, it's sick. So.
And he co-wrote that.
Yeah.
So
that's his thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely his thing. So I don't know. Like we're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna come back. Keith has more stories from his life in music in New Orleans. Did you hang out at that gay bar lately?
No.
Oh, I love it there.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, bars are closed there, man.
But I mean, I don't think now.
I mean, after we,
I meant like since the last time, you've had a little time. You could have popped back in there.
No, I mean, I've been really frequenting any gay bars lately, but
Next time I'm down there when the world opens back up, that's the first place I'm going.
That's the first place we're going. All right, we're going to be right back.
All the Lou, your face in there was a little bit. You were very uncomfortable. I mean,
he was.
You were so tight that day. If they took a diamond and stuffed it up your butt in a week, you'd have a diamond. You know?
Hey, listen, man. Gay guys love me, so I have to be a little careful. I didn't want to give anybody the wrong idea that I was available or anything like that.
Don't get a big head there, Lou.
So, this is, speaking of gay guys, this is Lou Lombardi's Strangelove. We'll be right back.
I know.
right, Lou Lombardi's Strangelove, everybody. We started the show with Lana Black. That is B-L-A-C.
No K.
No K. BLAC.net. You can just, if you want my stuff, just go to LouLombardiRocks.com. We're going to be playing some Sean Lane a little bit later and Shun the Raven. So we were talking about everything. We're talking about Warren DeMartini and George Lynch, and Keith was telling us about all the fun he's having. What are you doing with yourself? Are you shedding like a bunch of like serious like Steve Gadd like paradiddles or something? What are you doing?
I do practice a lot. I mean, it's kind of trying to make up for lost time. You know, sometimes when you get stuck in this whole like trying to play for a living. I mean, you find yourself having to learn songs all the time.
Yeah.
Like I might have to learn 20 songs in 2 weeks or a week even sometimes for one band. Another band sends you a list of, there's 20 more songs. So you're up to your friggin' neck in songs. And luckily, most of them are easy. It's all blues or like simple rock or country tunes. I mean, but when you're not as familiar, you can't just fake your way through. It's not like saying, hey, it's not like somebody says, hey, walk this way, hit it.
Yeah, you got to kind of know that.
You can just play through it, or any kind of Zeppelin tune or something. Some of the music is some old throwback rock and roll stuff that I wasn't as familiar with, and some of the feels of some of the New Orleans music that I'm exposed to, that I'm asked to learn, is challenging to get the right feel for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I practice every day, and I mean, I'm practicing more for myself to get better instead of having to work on 20, 30 songs a week.
Right.
I have a question on that. I'm not a musician, obviously. So since you have to learn songs, not songs just out of pleasure, but because you have to do it, do you find yourself procrastinating like I would be doing on anything else because you have to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, again, it depends on the song. Some songs take me a little while to get, even if I can technically figure out what's going on. You still have to listen to a song a bunch of times,
Right.
especially if I'm not really. A lot of times I'll write out the arrangement for myself, like a cheat sheet, and take it to gigs with me. So I'm like looking at it, and it's almost like a quick poor man's chart. It's like looking at, okay, verse, chorus. This is the feel of the song, blues shuffle. And
Right.
Like Cliff's Notes.
Yeah, it's just blues shuffle. It's moderately fast. I mean, it's something like that where you don't have time to write out every little thing.
Right.
And then some tunes you have that just are simple, where you can just get them really fast. You can just kind of go, you can memorize the parts. But like I said, most of the music I play is no brain music, so it's kind of just okay. It's verse, chorus. Here's a bridge, and there's no real craziness to it.
Right. Okay.
The most challenging part can be playing like I said, some of the New Orleans stuff. If you've never played a second line beat before, you might have to study up on it a little bit. There's a thing to it. It's not just playing a backbeat. So I mean, you have to kind of listening, not to playing, obviously, and practicing your instrument, whether you play the drums, guitar, the freaking kazoo. You have to listen, and you obviously have to shed your instrument for years and years and years. But I think when you're on a gig, listening is the most important thing. If you don't listen as a musician, you're probably A, going to get fired, or B, you're just going to sound really, really bad.
Yeah.
And a drummer sounding bad in a band
is a bad band.
Not good for anybody.
Yeah,
That's
it
sort of
sounds.
a backbone.
Yeah, it
You
ruins
kinda
the whole
need
thing. I mean, if there's one guy in the band, it's the two guys in the band. I think you have to do the shit together the most is the drummer and the singer. Because if the guy's got a great voice and he can really sing and do that, and the drummer can really
then
lay the
everything
groove
else
down,
just works out.
Yeah, I think you can drag a bass player and a guitar player and a keyboard player along, and they would be fine. I've been in those situations, trust me. But so we are talking about George Lynch, and George and Warren.
And we have some watchers.
We got some who's watching?
We got Tony Leone, who is
Tony!
a huge George Lynch fan.
Oh, yes.
Chris Thunderwolf Dotson, of course. John Fox is watching. Hey, John, how's it going? Josh Montadoro is watching. I think I missed a couple people, though, because,
John
Facebook,
bought us that peanut butter shot. I can still taste it.
He bought that for me for my birthday, too.
I can kind of still smell it. It was
I
literally
love that, though.
It was like an alcoholic peanut butter cup. It was very
beautiful.
Bizarre. It was very bizarre.
Beautiful.
It was good. It was good. Except we had all kind of other
Well,
drinks
mixed
that night.
with fruit, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was a little bit of a stomachy thing happening the next day.
But yeah, Tony goes Lynch way more unique. Sorry, so that's our one comment that we have on there.
I mean, that is the thing with Warren. The things against Warren is he is more of a basic guitar player in the sense that he is more of a blues guitar player in the sort of Joe Perry kind of tradition.
Do you feel like he gets categorized into just hair metal though, just because it's?
Well, I think a lot of I think if you would
because
shave everybody's head during that whole era and just put them in jeans and let them play. I think it'll be very interesting to see what really stands and what doesn't.
Okay.
I think it'd be very interesting. I still stand by the fact that Lay It Down is one of the most amazing
It's hard. I love
things
that.
ever. But so what do we and I think that, so the things I like about Warren DeMartini is I do like the fact that he's kind of bluesy, that he is bluesy. I just was more of a fan of Rat's songs because I love Stephen Pearcy's voice over Don Dokken's voice. Like if I could put Stephen Pearcy in Dokken, maybe it'd be some stuff happening. But I was never like, in any case, that's kind of was my thing about it. Did you ever have to play any Rat or Dokken in a cover band, Keith?
Oh yeah, I just play around and around, and thought that. I mean, it's been several years at this point. I still live back in PA, but with good musicians though, and it sounded pretty cool. One guitar band, but it was a really another great guitar player that just could hit all those licks. That's the thing about Warren. He's definitely a blues-based guitar player. And George, I even watched a quick interview with George and said he was influenced by Wes Montgomery. So he's
and
definitely
Hendrix.
got that
George knows the blues as well. George, this is where I'm kind of torn because George is playing. He's a little bit deeper in his soloing. I guess, like I said, just my favorite Dokken. One of my favorite Dokken songs is "Kiss of Death." Mm-hmm. Is that it? Is that the one with the kiss?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's on Back. I think that opens Back for the Attack, and this is like super heavy and super in your face. But as soon as Don Dokken starts singing, I'm like, yeah, it like lightens it up too much or something. I can't explain it. He's just not sleazy enough for me.
But you can't even
and
judge.
I can't. But I'm having a hard time like not kind of going against George because of Don. You know what I mean? Like,
have you seen Lynch Mob?
Yeah, I love Lynch Mob. Lynch Mob is killer. And he did a project that, Keith, you might find this kind of interesting. Do you know who Doug Pinnick is? The singer and bass player from King's X. So he had the shirt.
He's got the shirt.
Okay. So they did a project together a couple of years ago, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty freaking cool. It's all kind of alternative. It's different.
So I've never actually got to see Warren play live. Obviously.
You've seen George, though.
I've seen George Lynch. I've seen him with Lynch Mob. Actually, Tony Leone, his wife, and a friend of mine all went to New Jersey to go see Lynch Mob like a week after that Dokken show we saw, which was awful. But I couldn't take it was Robert Mason, who's the fronter for Warrant now, who sings, and he's a great singer, but I could not take my eyes off of George Lynch the whole time. The way he plays, it's like butter, I guess.
Well, the other thing is George Lynch could probably bench press Warren DeMartini with one arm.
Right. Yes.
So if you want some fitness tips, you want to talk to George. George is like he's probably closing in on 60 if he's not in his 60s already.
I don't even
and
know.
He's ripped to shreds. He's in amazing shape.
Yeah. I mean, I saw him with Robert Mason, Sean McNabb. I had to write these down because I can't remember all the names. Scott Coogan.
Was it a Lynch Mob show?
It was a Lynch Mob show. When we saw some really great local bands too, but yeah, so it was like not the latest incarnation of Lynch Mob, but it was close to the most recent one. But they were great. I loved the whole thing. It just seemed like George was very just into what he was doing and didn't give a shit about the crowd, which is kind of cool in a way. But I just couldn't take my hands. Couldn't take my hands off of him. Couldn't take my eyes off of his hands.
Oh my!
No.
Hey now.
Come on.
Hey now. Well, and you definitely do hear with and a little bit with Warren, but you definitely hear with George Lynch. You do hear the Jeff Beck influence as well. And like I said, I think that George built more upon the blues, whereas Warren is more of a bluesy player in this, like in the sense of the Joe Perry kind of thing. I don't know. I haven't made my decision yet.
I've made mine.
You what?
Yes.
That's not right.
I made mine on Monday.
No, you didn't.
I did. That's when I did my notes.
The game.
I'm sorry, what?
Talk about rigging the game. Say something. I need to do.
What do you need me to say?
Say something good.
Hey, I really, when May 1st comes around, if this is actually going to be all over, everybody needs to buy me a shot. I will be at some bar. I'll figure it out. And then I need a cab home because I won't be able to walk. I'm just going to say that right now. Because I love hanging out with you, Lou, but I need a bar.
Well, I'll tell you what. I understand. And since I understand, So well.
Do you need new glasses?
I need something. Say something.
Something. So there are some fun things that are actually coming up as far as the live streaming. You guys might want to check out your Facebook pages and see what your local bands are doing. But there's some charities as well. And please go buy merch from their websites, the band's websites, so you can at least help them to still support the music.
If you're doing something online right now, in the next month, you have probably a totally captive audience.
Yeah.
So if you like to do shit online and you're
So
thinking
do
about
it.
doing something online, do it. I'm working with at least 2 people to start podcasts for them, a health coach and a real estate agent, and I may be working with an attorney to start a podcast for him.
And listen to podcasts because there's tons of great ones out there. The PA Rock Show, us, Emmy Susani's got one.
Paige Roberts, there's a lot of people
Yeah.
doing great ones. So,
Judy and Punk.
Yeah,
Punk and
yeah,
Judy.
Punk and Judy, Punch and Judy. Anyways, okay, guys. So, in honor of Keith the Hawk Hawkins, who I thought it was going to come on tonight, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't put this in. But we're putting it in now. Let's play a little Black Laurel. How's that sound, Keith?
That sounds great.
All right,
Body album.
Lily and I love this song. It's called Mom's Hotel. We'll be right back on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Chief, I got it. Copy that. What's your location? Mom's Hotel.
Well, the rent is low, but life is a lower, baby. Little do they know. It's alright with fluorescent lights like rats.
I'm dancing to your band, Keith.
I'm a fly by night.
I'm dancing to your band.
Just watching from a windowsill. It's a beige and it's brick and it's right on the strip on a road that goes to hell. Yeah, lights are on, Mom's Hotel. You better get your motor on. And if the doorman's missing, check 227. He'll be popping up all night long. Woo! Well, there's nothing going down on Mom's Hotel to the little bit of bells ago. She got a man wrapped around a bedpost, yeah, and she sweats him till the break of dawn. Picking up the pieces, tearing on the money strand, I'm alright along. Yeah, but she's spending all the cash, she's running out of gas, and she got to be moving on. Yeah, the lights are on in Mom's Hotel, well, you better get your motor on. And if the doorman is missing, check 227, he'll be popping nose all night long. Yeah. Beds are burning in Mom's Hotel, and they're never gonna be contained. People gather on the bayou, dance away their pain. I'm a fly-by-night at Mom's Hotel, just I watch her from a windowsill. Yeah, and it's a beige and it's brick, stick by stick, to build a bridge to hell. Yeah, and the lights are on in Mom's Hotel, well you better get your motor on. And if the doorman's missing, check 227, he'll be popping all night long. Hello? Room service.
Room service. Hello, room service.
I need some room service.
I love Mom's Hotel. That's
a great
Black
song.
Laurel. That is such a great song.
The backstory behind that song is pretty funny, actually, why the song was written, and it's it's disturbing as hell, but it's.
Well, tell it.
Do tell.
Do tell. We have a member of Black Laurel on the show tonight who's going to give us a little backstory on the song "Mom's Hotel." Go ahead.
I guess the bass player had to drop off his kids to their mother's house or where the apartment she lived in, and when they were separated, so every time he would come back and get them and bring them back home, he would ask them, "What did you do at Mom's house?" And they would say the same thing every time. "Mommy has a hotel there. There's guys in and night all night long." So basically,
that's great.
The song, unfortunately, is about his ex being a complete hooer, if you will. But that's just kind of the way it went. The vibe of the song is really cool. It's way different than anything else on the record, and it has a little bit of almost like a very Primus sort of like vibe at some parts in the beginning. It has like a straight ahead kind of rock and roll parts, in the middle. And I don't know, it's my favorite track off the record. I'd probably say it's the heaviest song off the record. Most of the stuff's pretty right down the middle. It's not, there's some softer stuff. It's actually 2 songs I didn't even play on the record. So it's there's one song's a little heavier than that, and there's some ones that are kind of more radio friendly, poppier type stuff too. So it's definitely it's an interesting record. I think it came out good. I'm proud of it. So
cool, Keith. We love it. Thanks for playing on it and making great music, brother. We love it. I want to give a shout out to we had some votes on Facebook today. Mike Huberty says Lynch. Dave Hooper says Lynch. Aaron Wolf says got to go with Lynch. Dino Raylos, he remaining neutral, I guess. Dave Bizard says Warren. Tim Mitchell says his age-old guitar conundrum that can never be answered.
No, you're wrong. Next.
You have to answer it. Sorry, Mitch.
Chuck Robinson.
Tim,
Warren.
I love you. But Chuck Robinson says Warren. John Bowman says he's met both. Warren all the way. Gary Wesley says Lynch. Alec Wolf says Lynch. David Hooper, again, boy, he's really going for the Lynch. He loves Lynch. Gary Bickerstaff, always loved George Lynch. He's my favorite openly atheist guitar player. Well,
interesting.
That's not something that I don't know factors in, but okay, cool. Bob Sartain, close but Warren. Scotty boy. Scotty!
Of course, Scotty says Warren. I knew you were going to say Warren.
I love you, man. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're doing great, brother. Scotty used to be in a band in Pittsburgh called Whiskey High. I played many shows with them. And those guys were so cool to us, man, to let us use their gear and shit. They were very cool dudes. Doug Leith, George Lynch is the only acceptable answer.
Paul Lancaster is void of the conversation.
No. Jakey Lee's not in the thing. And I'm sorry, Frank Crasher. No, we're not talking about Carlos Cavazo. We'll do another podcast on that. Greg Fristick says War in D. Scott Haas says Lynch. Jason Sapienza says Warren. Sean McDonough says Lynch. Jeff Mazzy says Lynch. Greg Fristick replied. What did he say? Whoa!
Greg was argumentative.
Greg's like picking a fight with Jeff. This is awesome. I love it. Tim Gilbert says Lynch. Jimmy Haley. Neither one got credit for. They deserve 2 great guitar players. I agree.
Does not count.
But I do agree with that. Brady Novotny says Lynch. I had a feeling you were going to come down on the Lynch side. And John Fox Rhodes really respected and admired George Lynch. In fact, George started teaching all of Randy's students. I did not know this. Randy moved to England to write and record with Ozzy. So, I'm here. What do you think?
You want my answer?
Okay. Yeah, let's give our answer. Screw it.
All right.
And we'll come back. We'll play this song, come back and talk to Keith Hawkins.
All right. So Warren's the imitator, Lynch is the innovator. So I'm going with Lynch.
It's
a hard one.
Listen to me. Like, lay it down.
I
know.
Like
every time I have a hard time picking Lynch, even though he is technically Lynch is the better guitar player in my opinion. So I'm going with Lynch. But the lay it down. He did not write lay it down, and lay it down.
He probably wishes he did.
That is such an amazing riff. That is like
that is a great riff, and do not to jump turn, but I would say the same thing. I mean, George Lynch is a better guitar player. I'm not saying it's a freaking landslide. George Lynch has very memorable riffs. The Mr. Scaries. I mean, you go Wicked Sensation, In My Dreams, all that. It's Not Love, all the cool, the finger picking stuff from the beginning of that. Kiss of Death is great. Unchained at Night. La La La, it goes on and on. But Warren definitely that riff in Lay It Down is badass.
That's insane.
You can't really not listen.
Even
like that kind of music, but I'm not a huge fan of that music, as I've stated several million times. But when I hear that riff, I'm like, even when I was listening to it today, I was like, oh shit,
that's a kick-ass riff. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's just a cool riff.
Yeah, no.
So is Lack of Communication is another cool one. It just sticks out. It's very catchy.
Yeah. So I just got to go with Lynch just because I just know that he's just he's a slightly better guitar player in my opinion.
Here.
Yeah, we just got. And the other thing about Lynch that really kind of impresses me is he's continued to be in the business and he's done new projects. And his new projects don't sound like Dokken.
They don't. They sound
Lynch
good.
Mob does not sound
Listen to Dirty Shirley. You will not be.
I'm sure that does.
You
I
will
need to
not
check
be
that out. And the work he did with Doug Pinnick a few years ago is really different. It doesn't sound. He's able to jump into different situations, and I get the impression from Warren, as great of a guitar player, I kind of get the impression that he's just kind of like not as into it. And so I got to give it to the Lynchster.
Although I would rather meet Warren over Lynch because I hear Lynch is sort of kind of like a crabby man.
Well, everybody here, this is one of the things that we saw in the comments was people that met Warren DeMartini said he was like super cool.
Yeah.
I don't really have anybody on here that said that they actually met George Lynch. So that I don't know. I've never met either one of them.
Same.
But that's just one of those things. We're gonna wrap up for today.
Wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Wrap on the wrap.
I'll take it. So here's what we're gonna do. Let me find one here. Hopefully that's not too long. We're gonna play this. Do you want to hear? Okay, I'll let you guys to vote. Do you want to hear Sean Lane? Not the famous Sean Lane. Sean Layne, who's very good, by the way. He's a friend of mine. Or do you want to hear Shun the Raven?
Lane.
We hear Lane. Keith.
Sure, man. Go with it.
We're going to come right back and wrap up here in a few minutes. This is Lane on Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Never, whatever the situation is or might be, do I need to accept the ones who have not walked a day in my worn-out shoes. A lesser man couldn't handle the challenges and setbacks in which a man accepts his fate. I remain brave, dignified, unselfish and true to myself and my beliefs. This is my statement to you.
That's Lane, everybody. Lane, Layne. All right, guys. Keith the Hawk Hawkins. Keith, what do you want to tell? What do you want to tell the kids at home? We talked about George Lynch. We talked about Warren DeMartini. We sort of had to give it to George tonight. So, but we do have Keith the Hawk Hawkins, and I love when Keith is on. So, we got a few minutes left, brother. What's on your mind? If you could say anything right now, what would you like to say? It doesn't have to be epic. It can be stupid.
Don't be serious from it. Don't live your life in fear, man.
Yeah, right.
I know you're supposed to, I know you got to practice social distancing, and it's getting bad out there. But don't live your life in fear. And I'm not saying you have to go hang out with 20 million people, but at the same time, be wise, but be respectful, and be good to one another, and don't be a dick. That's what I'm saying.
Don't be a dick.
That's a great.
Be
that's
like
a great
Keith.
phrase.
Don't be a dick. Yeah. I mean, let me ask you a question about social distancing. What about sex?
Oh, I told you that whole thing I read you a couple Saturdays ago.
I'm just saying. I'm asking Keith.
What about it?
What about sex? Should people still be having sex?
Sure they still do. You're not going to stop that, goddammit. I'll tell you that much.
I have no
Can you have
comments.
sex from 6 feet apart? That's my question.
No.
You got to be pretty well endowed.
So I can't hook that up. I'm sorry. I'm going to be straight up honest. That would be way too much for me. I'd be never having it.
I have no comment on that.
Oh my God. That's some crazy stuff, man.
I mean, I once admitted that I was, hung like a ferret. What am I supposed to do? Things are tough all over.
Yeah, hey, let me ask you a question, Keith. My band, I have an original band. I'm playing with a couple guys. You know Jared Evans, right?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So Jared's a bass player, and we got this cool drummer, young guy, and we cannot come to an agreement on a name.
Oh my God, this has been months in the making.
Months, we cannot come to an agreement. We cannot decide
It's
on a name.
ridiculous. They've had 100 names already.
We keep coming up with different names, like joke names, stupid names, like
They're obsessed with penis.
Well,
here's
well, we played a show. We played a show a few months ago, and we went on as 20,000 metal dicks.
Told you.
I think you should keep that, man. That's pretty cool.
You think so?
Because why? Because it's going to get people's attention. I always thought that a good name for a band would be Free Beer, but it's just it's.
I told you not to change it in the first place from that.
So you think it should be 20,000 metal dicks? So Lily likes it. Keith, I don't like that name. Jared loves it, man. I get these texts. Here's why we need to keep it. He's like, he loves that name.
Just keep it.
Well, he came up with it.
Well, you have worse. You have given me worse names than this.
Yeah, we have some pretty bad ones. I can't say them on the podcast.
No.
That's probably the biggest pain in the ass about being in a band and trying to name the friggin' thing. I mean, it's other than that, and not try to kill each other. I mean, it's there are some problems. Definitely, one definite pain can be naming a band. I mean, it's hard to come up with a good name because most of them are taken.
I
or
know there's a
they-
gazillion bands.
Minions
They
not.
sound stupid. I mean, I don't know. So if you did something like that, would definitely get people's attention. I mean, you're probably not going to get the gig on the Nickelodeon channel or anything, but I mean,
If
I don't know
Lou
what
ends
you're
up on
going for.
Nickelodeon, we got bigger problems.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, you heard it here on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Keith thinks the name 20,000 Metal Dick should be the name of the band. What do you guys think? Guys, thanks for hanging out. Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. We love you guys. We're doing this every week live, but you're probably checking us out on all the regular stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, Rock Rage Radio. Thanks to John and Gigi for having us. Shout out to Wolf's Customs. Go to wolfscustoms.online and get a custom paint job on that guitar or drums, as the case may be.
Obviously. Guitar pick.
Obviously, you
Drums
can do
too.
that.
He's branching out, man.
He's
Drums now. Next week, I don't know.
Yeah, might be might paint your sousaphone for you.
He's going to hollow flash a freaking oboe. I don't
Clothing.
know.
So anyways, guys, go to LouLombardiRocks.com. That is where the community is. That's where you kind of get into my funnel and you get to find out all the cool stuff. So check that out. Lily V6, anything you want to promote before? I know you do your own show on Rock Rage.
Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, Hot Licks with Lily 6. Download the app for free or go to rockrageradio.com. And I'm playing mostly locals this week just because they had to cancel all their shows.
I know. This is a way to get the local bands to get a little exposure since they can't play live. And somebody's bugging the living crap out of me on my cell phone. Keith, anything you want? Any parting shots, parting thoughts before we get the hell out of here today, brother?
No, Lynch. Lynch was the winner, I think.
It's all about the Lynch. Don't lynch yourself with Lynch. Just listen to Lynch. All right, guys. All right, Keith, brother, it was great having you, brother. We're gonna
Bye,
go.
Keith.
We're gonna jump over.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump over to our private group and tell some real dirty jokes.
Yes.
You guys can join us there. I keep on telling you, go to LouLombardiRocks.com. You get the real dirty crap there. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. I don't know. We got a minute, so let's play a little music on the way out. This is Shun the Raven. We'll talk to you guys next week.